Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Tracklist podcast show. I'm Daron Jenkins.
And I'm Chris Saunders.
And we're back this week talking about the 1995 film Get Shorty, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, and starring a host of people in this. I'm not even going to read the list. We'll talk about most of these people anyway, because there's a lot. I mean, aside from the fact there's John Travolta, Gene Hackman, Rene, Russo, and Danny DeVito, there are a host of other amazing actors in this film. The synopsis for it is: a mobster travels to Hollywood to collect a debt and discovers that the movie business isn't that much different than his current job. Get Shorty had a budget of approximately $30 million, and at the box office, it grossed about $115 million.
Yeah, that's what I had. Also 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb. 89% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. 70% from the audience. So I'm going to count myself among the critics in this episode.
You know, Roger Ebert gave this 3.5 stars in 95.
Out of how many? How many stars?
Out of 4.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, wait, what?
So, you know, I threw this movie at you. It's one of the ones I've watched many times, but
it's been a while since I've seen it.
I've spoken to folks that are just like this. They just don't like the movie. Like, they're more on the audience side, I guess. I mean, 70% is not horrible, but like, yeah.
Right.
But like Barry Sonnenfeld, I mean, Addams Family, this was only his 4th movie directing. And in Black, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't talk about Wild Wild West.
Right.
And Men in Black 2 was pretty bad as well. But, you know.
3.
I liked 3. He did that one as well.
Right.
And then I just saw Beverly Hills Cop TV movie. Don't know nothing about that. But he doesn't have a lot to his. That's it. Like, he's got like about 20 movies to his name as a director.
I was like, did he die? Like, what? What's going on? And it's weird he had that jump. He like did something in 2016, and then he did something in 2022, and I was just like, wow, that's a huge, you know.
Yeah, he's got that Schmigadoon TV show on Apple TV. Schmigadoon. Anis and I started watching it. It's just this comedy with Key from Key and Peele.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And he plays a husband, and the wife is played by this ex SNL girl, or maybe she's still there. I can't remember. Anyway, so I fell off of it. It wasn't my thing, but anyways, I mean, he's got a lot of stuff that I enjoy. So,
well, did you know that there was a Get Shorty TV show? Was
vaguely. I saw in the trivia them talking about it, and I was like, I vaguely remember this, but
I really didn't remember this show.
I didn't even know there was a book. This is based on a book, and I actually really want to read the book now.
The book is actually not bad.
Oh, I gotta get on that. Maybe we should postpone this until I read it.
Like a month or so?
I was thinking 3 months probably. But yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, the first thing that caught my eye, the major things in the trivia that caught my eye, was that Travolta and Hackman both initially declined to be in this movie.
Gee, I wonder why. Because this is, I mean, so in the timeline of things, this was post Tarantino
Pulp Fiction.
And John Travolta at that moment in time was starting to get pegged a little bit. That movie, I mean, as good as he is in Pulp Fiction, it hurt his career in a way that was weird. Like, and this was kind of like his rebirth in a little bit of sorts.
Dude, I was just looking at his his list of movies, and between 1995 and 2000, he did 17 movies.
Yeah,
that's more than 3 movies a year.
That's not. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because if you've done 17 movies, it ain't because they were all Oscar winners.
Well, right. So we want to list some of them. Face Off is
that's
a badass movie, but in between this and that was Phenomenon. and Michael,
Yeah,
which
same movie, pretty much.
and then he did. I didn't see the Thin Red Line,
Thin
Primary
Red Line was
Colors,
okay. Primary
a
Colors,
Civil Action, The General's Daughter. Like I know these, but then there's Battlefield Earth, right? Like
one of the worst science fiction movies to ever exist.
what did you think about Swordfish? This is actually in 2001, but
Swordfish, it wasn't as terrible as people try to make it out to be. I feel like it kind of, like, I think it was kind of just a little bit ahead of its time because that kind of movie was being done in like the mid 2020s, where
mm-hmm.
like the Expendables and those kind of movies where they're like these glam heist movies, and glam action movies. So I'll give him that one. I'll give him that one.
And then we have to, because you mentioned this being like a rebirth for him. We look at some of the movies beforehand. Look Who's Talking, Look Who's Talking Too, and Look Who's Talking Now. Honestly, I don't even know what Shout is.
Shout? What is that?
And then there's a bunch of music videos that he was in or a part of after Staying Alive.
That's sad.
Right, you have Staying Alive, Urban Cowboy, obviously Grease, and Saturday Night Fever, which is like what made him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, man, he definitely had a comeback.
Yeah, it was a good comeback because I generally kind of like this character,
Yeah. Oh no, this I was just watching. I'm like, this is like a combination of his character in Grease, like the kind of when he's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? I think. All right, I was, and his when he is Troy Caster in Face Off.
Yes.
Like that kind of serious but almost scary kind of character.
Yeah.
And it was just like right in between there, and he does a great job. It's just such an interesting character.
Yeah, I think for like a full year after I saw this in the theaters, I was going, look at me, look at me.
I ain't trying to get if I tried that, I'd be like get punched in the face like or get my ass beat like Ray does in this movie. Yeah, so I think what I really liked just opening the movie, and I never really paid attention before, was just how fast paced it is. Right, like there's no scene that's more than like 3 minutes. We're jumping from Miami to Brooklyn, back to Miami to Vegas to LA. And then we're into it, right? It was just like really good storytelling and like setting everything up really quickly. It's like what 10 to 15 minutes, and we're there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And again, this fits into our perfect storm of things. This was like an hour and 20 plus minutes.
It wasn't. It was an hour 45, but
was
still, I mean, still less than 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a sweet spot. It's 130 to 145 is the sweet spot.
Yeah, especially if it's a good movie, then that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because you're saying 120. I actually thought this was shorter than 145, and it does say a lot about how it was executed.
Yeah. It's a very light. Like this is like mobster movies. The minute you have a mobster movie, normally it feels like suddenly it's going to be kind of like a little weighty and stuff. But this was pretty light. It wasn't too campy, but it was light.
Yeah, I mean, you have pretty much one character who is maybe two characters who are the heavier side of it.
Yeah,
and even like let's forget his name. Who's Dennis Farina?
Oh,
he still has some comedy to him.
Yeah, Bones.
Yeah, Ray Bones Barboni. And then like of course there's Escobar, played by Miguel Sandoval. Like even like he's very dark. He's like I'm gonna go check the sites and like when I come back, you better have my nephew and like my money. But that little exchange with them in the car, right? Like with him and Bo, is you get like both that levity and that like kind of scary gangster thing. It's so well done.
Yeah, it felt like an early like version of Breaking Bad. Kind of like this heavy like this weighty comedy type, banter here and there throughout the movie.
I mean, Breaking Bad to me is still a little heavier.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean,
I would almost say like Ocean's 11.
yeah, there's some Ocean 11 in it. Yeah,
Yeah, because it has this like kind of heist feel to it as well, even though it's not really the heist itself.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like the aftermath almost. That stare by Chili Palmer is like when you were saying, "Look at me." That stare is so good.
Yeah.
And then he goes through the whole thing with Danny DeVito's character Martin Weir, like explaining to him how to do it,
Which was hilarious. And,
yeah.
and Danny DeVito at that point in time was really kind of a big star.
Yeah, I read something about that. Like first of all, they wanted him for Chili Palmer.
What?
But I don't know, scheduling or something. But
yeah, scheduling. Okay.
But let's see. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where this sits in his 1995. This is post Twins or right around Twins. Oh, Alien on Monitor and Men in Black. I didn't realize he was in that.
Oh.
L.A. Confidential. What? He's in L.A. Confidential? Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito's in L.A. Confidential?
I think he has like a cameo role in that.
I don't remember him in that.
Ooh, I forgot about this movie. 1994, Renaissance Man.
Oh, good movie.
He plays a teacher that has to like take a job at a military base, training base. I actually really love that movie. He's a voice in Look Who's Talking Now. Like when was Twins? Oh, Twins was 88. Oh my goodness. So that was way before this. He was in the Ghostbusters music video. Didn't know that. So what was he? Oh, the War of the Roses.
War of the Roses was big for him.
Batman Returns, 92. He was great in that. He did Hoffa before this.
He's in Rainmaker.
So, yeah, those are all before Get Shorty. Okay. But yeah, man, Danny DeVito's a legend. We talked about the cast here. Delroy Lindo, James Gandolfini, 4 years before The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And then like these other kind of B-list guys like David Raymer, Miguel Sandoval, Jacob Vargas. It's just like so many people in this movie.
Yeah, and then they don't even. There's Penny Marshall's not even credited in it, even though she's in it for about 2 minutes. And
what role did she play?
She at the very end of the movie when they're shooting the film. She's the director.
Oh, and do they credit Bette Midler in this?
And yeah, like in the listings of the credits, she doesn't come up.
And Harvey Keitel.
Yeah,
who was in the follow up apparently in Be Cool. Have you seen that with The Rock?
Yes, I saw Be Cool. I don't remember much about it though.
Yeah, me neither. I remember not really enjoying it. Like they tried to recreate what happened in this film and kind of failed, and then of course they threw in Dwayne Johnson because he was just huge at the time.
Yeah,
still huge. Anyway, so this is for a few reasons, like a movie I've watched dozens of times, but I never ever noticed that apparently the Chili Palmer character is loosely based on a real life loan shark that the guy who wrote the book, Elmore Leonard, had befriended, and he actually makes an appearance in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, really?
I have no idea who he is in the film, but I have no idea what scene either.
Yeah, what scene? Because unless he's in like maybe he's one of the old men in the barbershop. Maybe I don't know.
Hey, I can't even tell you. I mean, because again, it moves so quickly, it's so fast paced in the beginning. It just
I did like the scene that opening scene where he goes and get his coat from the coat check, and dude takes his coat. I'm just like, come on, man. That's classic, dude.
The thing is, like, Dennis Farina is a guy that's like kind of the same dude in every film. Like we did, what was the British film we did with Avril? Not Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Snatch. Okay. And he's in that, and pretty much the same character.
Yeah.
But like, he just seems like someone that would do that in real life as himself. Like take somebody's coat from a coat check at a restaurant that's not his.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is kind of like that, where it's just like things that really happened to
Yeah,
someone in this
like
movie.
like Danny DeVito's character. I feel like that's Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Gene Hackman, not so much. He seems like more of a serious dude, but I think he's amazing in this movie.
yeah. You don't get this. We don't like. He doesn't do a lot of comedy, but when he does it, man, he's really good.
Yeah, would you consider? Because I thought about, I saw a trivia piece that said he doesn't do a lot of comedy. That's why he wasn't going to do this. But would you like? What about Superman when he plays Lex Luthor? Like,
Oh,
yes,
that's
that's a
definitely.
superhero action film, but it's definitely very comedic.
Oh yeah, no, I would say there's definitely like a comedic piece to that character.
So yeah, I feel like he does do comedy. And actually, somebody else got suggested. I haven't seen it in so long. Chinatown. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Gene Hackman. That's Jack
That's Jack Nicholson.
Nicholson.
Right.
But I always confuse them.
Still good movie though.
Yeah, I want to check that out. See what the soundtrack's like. Maybe we'll do it on the podcast.
Have you not seen Chinatown?
I have, but it's probably back in
Been a while.
college. It's probably in
Okay.
college when I saw it. And then, oh yeah, you saw about the first scene. Like that's kind of what that's what this movie is pretty much all about. Is
Yeah.
that it's like that's what kicks everything off is Ray taking his coat, and then Chili's boss dying, and then Ray taking over. And then like so now Chili essentially works for him, and then makes him do a job, and it ends him. He ends up in L.A. It's just interesting. It feels like a very unique story of
Yeah.
this Miami loan shark ending up in LA on a job, but then kind of just like, I don't want to be a loan shark anymore. I want to get into film. And he's like this huge film buff.
Yeah. It's funny because this movie is it's a movie about a movie about about a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very much. That's all. And yeah, I mean, I can kind of sympathize with that though, right? I mean, the one thing that as I'm watching this, and I think I remember people talking about this when the movie first came out, was how um, like this is kind of supposed to be a parody on Hollywood, but
Mm-hmm.
it really isn't. Like it's very much similar to what a lot of the shit that happens in Hollywood. So
Well, I mean, you definitely see like all the stuff that a lot. I think what Rene Russo's character Karen is saying is like the actors never pay for their own meal, and like Danny or not Danny Martin Weir gets excited about every script he reads. Like stuff like that seems very much
yeah,
taken from somebody's experience.
yeah,
Um,
someone's definitely.
and and like you said, it's like a movie inside. It's like this movie inside a movie that they're shooting, but talking about producing another movie,
Right,
but
right.
also talking about producing the movie that we're actually watching. It's like there's a lot going on, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out like Mr. Love, what was it, Lovejoy or
Lovejoy,
Lobotomy?
yeah,
Yeah,
just Lovejoy. But apparently, in the book, which I again want to read, they go into detail about the plot of that film, but
yeah,
not in this movie. They don't do it. So, now, even more reason to read the book, right? I'm like, what the hell is this
yeah,
fucking movie that
yeah,
everybody loves? That everyone's like, people are dying over, right?
yeah. It was to the point where like I didn't know exactly like which movie was because even when they're like walking and talking about the film, you're never sure exactly which is like they're supposed to be talking about Lovejoy, but they're actually talking about Chili's
Mm-hmm.
idea more than they are talking about this supposed script that's supposed to be blowing everyone's mind away.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then, I mean, I guess we're kind of sort of jumping ahead, but like, we never find out if Lovejoy was made, right?
yeah,
They also talk about retitling it. It's like, is that a movie that really existed and came out?
yeah,
So it's and all we know is that they're shooting Chili's movie idea. So which throughout the film is being written as we watch, right?
right,
This is a very interesting film.
yeah,
This is pretty. I'm a fan clearly, but it also has like for me, I got some film noir vibes in there as well.
hmm,
There's certain scenes where like he's talking to Karen like at her house, and she's like standing on that little balcony in her house. And I felt that kind of felt like film noir. Even when he's at the movie theater watching, I forget what movie it was.
Oh, what was that movie? I forget the name of it. It's the one where Charlton Heston plays a Mexican.
Yeah. Even in that scene, I feel these film noir vibes. Obviously, it's a blend of other styles, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, very much did have an L.A. Confidential feel to it.
that is exactly the movie I was thinking about, and I haven't watched that in a while. But I love that film too.
Yeah, that's a great film.
Which actually leads me to my first. We were talking about him in the theater watching the Charlton Heston film. Leads me to my first. So hold up, our segment. How is he gonna be talking in the theater while everybody trying to watch the movie?
Yeah, some black in him.
What the hell, bro? What the?
Yeah, some black in him, man.
Yeah, I guess he's got black hair. He wears black. I don't know. Is that what qualifies?
I love that he's so excited about the film when the lights go up, he taps the dude up in front of him on the shoulder.
That was great, right? That was amazing. It's really, and again, right? That's that balance of, I mentioned, Grease and Face Off, but like, there's something else in there, or that's the in between, where like he's this very serious loan shark guy, but he's also like that could like kicks people's asses, like kicks this stuntman's ass, like whatever, but also gets really nerdy and excited about movies, right?
Yeah, he was definitely like a film fan. Seriously, so which is, I guess, is a little odd for being a leg breaker, so
when you're not breaking legs, you gotta unwind somehow, right? And they also, like, I think you kind of touched on it, where like they talk about how you were talking about how things are very LA, like how it really would be, or how Hollywood really is.
Yeah,
and they do kind of break that fourth wall, not only when Karen is talking about stars not paying for their meals, and we are getting excited about scripts, but also like when that same scene I thought was film noir, when she's on the balcony and like he's like, see you later, and she goes, see you, like under her breath. And she does talk about earlier like having that one great line, and I feel like they put that in there to be the one great line, like kind of see you, and the way she looked and delivered it. And also that scene when Bo is there at his house with Yahoo, I think it's it.
Yahoo, yeah.
He calls Yayo or whatever.
Yayo.
But he calls him Yahoo, and he's like, Yahoo, I'm taking you out. Like this very dramatic action film like scene. I was like, that was very intentionally done.
And how he tumbles over the balcony is kind of very much part of that whole like 1950s, 1940s.
Yeah.
Detective death of dun, dun, dun.
And then they discuss doing the same thing to Chili Palmer, and then later on in the film, when it actually happens, it seems a little more realistic.
Yeah.
Like Chili also goes over and he gets saved. Like it's just, this movie is very well thought out. And I think it's very clever.
Yeah, there's a lot of whoever, like the writer. The writer really clearly has a background in cinema on some level, where he can kind of recall some of the some key scenes from some of our favorite, like these murder mysteries and these police dramas and stuff from the 50s and 60s, because he had even some of the choices of the car that Gene Hackman was driving very much fit like this film noir.
Well, that feels like the car that Jack Nicholson drives in Chinatown.
Yeah. I'm almost positive, and I would have to double check, but I'm almost positive that Gene Hackman's office is the same office they used in Bowfinger.
I would like to look up that. Does Bowfinger have a good soundtrack?
Oh, that's a good question.
That could be one of our trivia pieces.
That's a good question. Because the moment that came on the screen, I was like, "Why does this office look so damn familiar?"
I wouldn't fight you on that one.
I wish there was a way. I'll find out.
Yeah, definitely look at that. And if anyone's listening,
Yes.
Just post on or message us and let us know.
And by the way, for those of our listeners that listen on Spotify, you can now comment directly on the podcast. So if you
It,
happen to know the answer to that, please drop us a comment.
yes, we will definitely take a look. Like to hear from you. Man, I don't know. We've talked about quotable films. I feel like this is an under the radar quotable film.
There's some interesting lines in this movie for sure.
Because like we were talking about early on when they're in Miami and like Ray comes into the barbershop where Chili works out of, and he has his bodyguard with him, and Chili Palmer's just like, "Come on, you can do better than this, can't you?" And the bodyguard's like, "Not these days, unless you speak Spanish." It's like those little shit. Like he's very self aware of his situation, but yeah, he's got to do what he's got to do.
Got to make money somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It just really enforces how much everybody likes Chili better than they like Bones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then that's the other thing I really like about the character, like John Travolta, not only the character but how he portrays him is, you've got his body movements like very cool, calm, collected, but is able to act when he needs to.
Right.
But then it's like his facial expressions, like the stare that we mentioned, and then like delivery, but also the character of how he's able to relate to all these people, right? He's able to relate to the bodyguard. The guy's just like, yeah, man, I don't want to do anything to you, but this guy's paying the bills. He befriends the stuntman later, played by James Gandolfini. He's Danny DeVito's character likes him. Karen, like everyone just likes the guy, right? And it's really cool how it's really shown in this film. But also, like again, going back to Travolta, like the delivery. There's just this one scene where where he goes to Martin Weir's house and the girl he knows from Miami is there.
Oh,
and she's like, she used to work for Momo. And she's like, how's Momo? And he tilts his head and smiles. Dead, like very cheerfully, just says dead. Like I just love that. What a choice! That was such a great choice for how to deliver that line.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail on the head with kind of your comparison to Ocean's 11 because he's basically Danny Ocean.
Mm.
You know what I mean? This dude who knows how to be serious when he has to be serious.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody who he works with just likes him better. He's just a better,
And it's funny you say that because I feel like there's a lot of great chemistry in this film.
Yep.
With the actors. Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite. Like I've watched that film 30 times, like at least. Yeah. And a lot of it is because of that chemistry between George Clooney and Brad Pitt, and then Brad Pitt and Don Cheadle. Like it was just, they brought together a bunch of actors that just clicked. And I feel like this film does the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a great basketball team work. You know what I mean? When they're all on the same page, it's really, the lines just feel natural. They don't feel like they're trying too hard to be cool. You know what I mean?
And when it doesn't feel like it's forced, except when it was intended. Like the line, like, "Hey Yayo, I'm taking you out." Like it was intentionally done like that way. And then Delroy Lindo. Yeah. Was this his here's a question for you. Was this his him preparing for Romeo Must Die?
Hey, was that after this? That was after this? Yeah, right?
Romeo Must Die was like 99 or 2001 or something, like in that area.
Yeah.
Which we still have to do.
Yeah, we do. And Nico. Excuse me.
And then
I think that absolutely.
And then was this also the staging area for James Gandolfini for The Sopranos, which was in 4 years later. He doesn't play the same character, but it is this kind of gangster type film.
But because he's such a immense figure physically, I feel like it made he's an even better actor because of that, because this role required him to kind of have like this intimidating look and feel to him, but also kind of have like this soft part of him as well that he identifies with. And I think one of the smart things they did was give him a daughter, I thought that was really like a good element to kind of bring down some of his intensity.
Well, I mean, I think the character's name is Bear in this,
Yeah.
and you almost feel like Teddy Bear is more accurate, right? And yes, listen, I don't know what else I've seen him in. To be honest, I never watched Sopranos.
Oh,
Of course, you just hear so much about the show, but
yeah,
is there anything else? But in this movie, you get the acting. You just
yeah,
he's just really good, and he's a supporting actor, right?
yeah. He's a good actor, and I, I've only watched I've watched some of The Sopranos. I haven't watched the whole thing. At some point, I'm going to binge watch it and just do it. And
Yeah, I've been like it's time I do this.
yeah, he's been on a bunch of stuff though. I mean, so
Oh, he's on another one of my favorite movies,
what's
Crimson Tide.
that? Yeah, he's in Crimson Tide,
And I remember he's good in that too.
Oh, he's in Fallen too with Denzel.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I can't find that streaming. I'm trying to watch that again. I'm trying to figure out where I can watch that.
That's such a good movie, man. That's such a good movie.
I haven't seen that since the '90s, bro. Not to date myself.
He plays, I think, Travolta's in this movie too. A Civil Action.
Yeah. I was about to say they come together again in that film. So I haven't seen it before. I need to watch that as well.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. If you like the those '90s law dramas.
Yeah, the Pelican Brief and the Firm.
Yeah. He's in Zero Dark 30 too.
Okay.
Which is a really good movie.
Yeah. So it's the level of Dennis Farina to me is a legend.
Yeah, he is.
Danny DeVito's a legend. Gene Hackman's a legend. Rene Russo's a legend. John Travolta's a legend. Daron Jenkins a legend. James Gandolfini. It's insane. This cast.
Well, which brings me to the budget. How in the world they kept this budget under $200 million?
I couldn't even tell because maybe you can make an argument. This is before Sopranos for James Gandolfini. So
okay,
but Gene Hackman, Rene Russo have been in the Lethal Weapon films amongst other things.
Yep.
John Travolta clearly, Danny, just the first 6 people on this list. Delroy Lindo. Yeah. I mean, Delroy Lindo maybe earlier on. I don't know that he's not young in this film.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they did whoever the producer for this was really good because they got these guys for a discount.
Well, you also got Jacob Vargas in here, who very recently was a lead in his own film. So they got him young, right? He was in Next Friday as well as one of the main bad guys. He's I can't call him a legend, but he definitely is going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award if he hasn't already. He's just been around. He's done so much.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also in Ant-Man. He's like a little sidekick in Ant-Man as well. So he's in Marvel canon as well.
Dude is making his money. Okay.
But we must talk about a little bit more about Danny DeVito because we've already brushed on this scene. Yeah. But I really love the scene where they go to his house to pitch him the film. That back and forth and I don't know. Do you recall the scene
when they go when they first come to the house and he's like, first of all, I like the scene when before they even go in the house, he runs into the woman who he knows, but she's the girl who was sitting outside in the restaurant with Danny DeVito prior to that.
I wasn't sure,
and I was just like, that's a nice. I didn't expect she was going to be part of this movie at all. I just thought, whatever. So it was a nice little callback that they kind of brought that, and that it just kind of reinforced how much Chili is liked by everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just.
And she even says he was the only guy that didn't hit on me at Momo's, right?
Yeah.
It's again. I'm trying to think of a comparison to another character. But he's just, again, a loan shark. So he's in he's in the mob. Yep. He's got to be violent when he got to be violent.
Right.
But he's respectable to women and jovial and gets along with all these people. Right. It's this awesome balance.
Yeah, I'm trying. I gotta believe there was another character like that because I mean it's hard to do. It is a hard thing to do. You know, you can't without it feeling forced
Mhm.
sometimes. But this was just
I'm gonna think on that. I know there's a specific character I'm thinking about that's just escaping me, but yeah. He bumps into this old person he knows from Miami outside Martin Weir's place. They go inside, and like, this is one of the scenes where they went there to pitch Lovejoy, but instead Chili starts
Jesus.
talking about like essentially his life, right? What's happening right
Yep.
now,
Yep.
and that whole back and forth about you know imagine you're a loan, you're a Shylock, and some guy leaves with 200,000 of your money, and like Danny DeVito slash Martin Weir's whole process of like getting into the character, like he's just so good in the scene. He's just like making these weird sounds, and then like Rene Russo character Karen is just sitting there like, oh come on man, she's just rolling her eyes because they used to be married, by the way, if anyone didn't know. Spoiler alert. Yeah, and the whole scene. And apparently they let Danny DeVito do like 30 takes of that, and they just kept on filming.
Oh, really?
And the one they came up with was really funny. This is really probably one of the funnier scenes of the film. And he's just like, "How about this?" He's like, "What are you telling me? You're sleepy? You want to go to bed?" And he's like, "Okay, okay."
So funny.
And he's like, he comes back. He's like, "Ugh," like really scrunching his face. Like, "What? Now you're squinting. You need glasses? You can't see me."
Glasses?
And then he just does this very like normal face, like just looking at him, and he's like, "Oh, there it is."
There
like,
it is.
Chili and Karen start clapping. Like, oh, so good. This is what I think of you. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's so Hollywood too. Though.
Mm-hmm.
These over like these actors who just I love when he was like, so I can get in the guy in his
I
head.
can get in his head.
Just like he's like, you can get into my head. Well, I can't get into your head, but
It's not an actual metamorphosis.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen this film, you're in the wrong place, but definitely go see it. It's very I think charming is the word I'm looking for, right? I feel like the whole
yeah,
film was very charming.
yeah.
Um,
I could see this as being considered a charming film. So weirdly enough, it almost has the same energy as a romantic comedy. I don't know how that how at the end of the movie you kind of just feel good about it, and
mhm.
you know, and that's not the way you should feel when there's mobsters on the screen.
Yeah,
But that's exactly how you feel at the end of this movie. I feel like you kind of just like, oh, this was a feel good movie.
yeah. It is. I mean, you have to throw. You have to. We talk about film noir. We have to throw rom com in the mix of what they did with this film. Um, and all of a sudden, now I'm thinking the whole nine yards
Ooh.
with Bruce Willis, who is he's more of a hitman, but like everyone seems to like him too. At least the girl likes him, right? Like that's another character I think is similar to this one.
Yeah.
And by the way, Bruce Willis was considered for this role of Chili Pop.
Oh, he would have. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
And then Bette motherfucking Midler out of nowhere.
She's always so good. She's so
She was perfect. She was perfect for what
she's
the role
very
did.
she's perfect. Yeah.
Such a small role. So odd.
Yeah. Yeah. For Bette Midler, at that point in time, she was not a small fry. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
again, how they got this cast, I don't know.
What is the She's not even like in the first page of the cast list. By the way, I mean she only shows up in what, 2 scenes?
Two scenes, scene? Yeah. 3 scenes. She's at the end too.
Trying to figure out what of course my computer's stalling. What other films? 9 to 5. Was she 9 to 5?
No. She would have been in Beaches, Witches of Eastwick.
Huh, all right.
Um, she was in something else too. I can't remember. Um,
Oh, there she is. She's uncredited. She's uncredited in this film.
really?
Yeah. Oh, of course. This is that other witches, Hocus Pocus,
Hocus Pocus, not
which was before First Wives Club, which was after
yeah,
this. You said Beaches.
yeah.
Yeah, Ruthless People. I remember seeing that a century ago.
Ruthless People. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in the
Hocus Pocus.
Stepford Wives.
Actually, before Hocus Pocus, there's not a lot in here, man.
What's
So
that?
Beaches is like 88.
Yeah, 88.
But she's it's just like that's not, oh okay. She had a little break. It looks like in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean the funny because remember too, like this is Bette Midler. So while she's doing films, she's also recording albums, right? She's doing theater, and so you know. Um, but imagine, if you will, doing a film that's so iconic that you really don't even have to work anymore, and that's what Beaches was. Beaches was so iconic, like literally, she just kind of fell ass backwards in the roles. She didn't really have to work anymore as much. I know she was on Seinfeld, one episode of Seinfeld.
Also forgot that well, jumping ahead again, Harvey Keitel,
Yeah,
the
he's
shortest cameo ever. But Pulp Fiction.
yeah, Harvey
Oh,
Keitel's.
well, Reservoir Dogs with Sister Act. Buck,
He was in Bugsy.
guess so. Yeah, well, Harvey Keitel is another legend. Definitely a cameo. He was definitely a cameo in this movie. Bette Midler had way more lines than he did.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
only person missing from this would have been was like his name, dude who was in in the Professional.
like Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary
What,
Oldman. That's the only person out of Hollywood. I'm like, he should have made a cameo.
what would he have been?
I don't know. He could have been. Maybe he
Actually,
could have been cast for a part in Loverboy.
in I actually don't remember. In The Professional, does he do a American accent? Yeah, that's another one I haven't seen in years.
I just
Um,
watched that again last week.
but we actually haven't discussed this. Is when I asked about this film, asked to do this film, we were questioning about the soundtrack. We haven't talked about the music yet. What did you think?
Be honest, I don't have any comments on the music because it's I don't know. To be honest, this was a weird movie. Like the music wasn't bad, but I also don't remember it at the same time. But what they did with it, which was I thought was interesting, which they used a bunch of different styles. Some of it was like very contemporary. Some of it was kind of like
There's a lot of
you know,
funk and blues in this
yeah,
movie.
um,
But the main thing is that it's a lot of instrumental.
yes, very much,
It's almost a score. It's like almost solely a score.
yeah,
Um, but it is music supervised, right? You have a few songs by Booker T and the MGs,
yeah,
which all of their songs I loved. It just had the right feel for the film, for the scenes. It was kind of upbeat. Those are the more the
right,
funky songs.
yep,
Um, then they had Chili Hot, which was kind of the opening credits theme, and the main character's name is Chili Palmer. So I like what they did there. But again, very upbeat. Like, um, not even it's not even funk. It was more jazzy, maybe
yeah,
pop jazzy kind of stuff.
yeah.
And then like you throw on this like classic Italian song when Momo has his heart attack, or when
Oh,
Funiculi Funicula. I don't know how to pronounce that. But the only reason I know that song is because there was like a board game called Great Escape back in the 90s. It was like you had like these, I don't know, there was some clay involved, and like essentially there was a bunch of traps set up that like you go along the board and try to avoid the traps.
yeah, yeah,
And it's like, and it was just like, make them, take them to the factory, mash them, smash them. Now the
oh,
history.
right.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's the way you play it when you play The Great Escape. Yes, I know most of the lyrics to that commercial from 30 years ago. Um,
I know from Bugs Bunny. So there's that.
So they threw that in there, and it's just like this little, like this guy's dying, but it's like this, this funny upbeat song, up tempo song.
Yeah. Well, the whole lead up to that scene was hilarious. It was great because they're like, like it's dark, and they like, yeah, just go upstairs. Everything's okay. And it's that mob moment.
It's almost like a hit, like from like Donnie Brasco. It almost feels like a hit.
Like he's like, oh, this is it.
And he's like fat, old, and out of shape, and you hear him like,
and have him walking up like 5 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
So again, like, I feel like the music was used very well. There was no scene in this where I was like, why is this song playing, or this is out of place? Like, it feels so natural, and just like that again goes along with everything else: the casting, the acting, the writing, everything just fits in this film to me.
Yeah, it was like it does what we normally talk about, which is it accents the film without being overwhelming. It just kind of fits seamlessly into the film instead of standing out and like being like out front of it. Because I feel like this was a difficult film to kind of score, considering that it's at that point in time it was a modern day film, but it had like these 50s and 60s undertones to them, so you could have gotten lost trying to figure out what to do with this.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is supposed to be set in '95, because like some of the wardrobe seems a little. I mean, half the time Karen's character is in clothes for roles she's rehearsing for. Chili Palmer's got this. Yeah. I don't know if that's '90s game, but yeah. So I don't think I could pull off the Chili Palmer's outfits, but it works for him.
All black in California in the summer.
But it was cold. Remember the first scene? They're talking about how cold it is. So
yeah. Wait, no. He wasn't in LA when that happened.
No, not LA. Oh yeah, but in Miami though. Miami's not traditionally cold.
Miami.
They said it was 34 degrees. They said it was 34 degrees in the first scene.
34 degrees. I was like, what?
By the way, the guy that plays his like confidant or partner in Miami, character's name is Tommy Carlo, played by Martin Ferrero. That guy's been in a lot of stuff too.
Yeah, Miami Vice. He made his bones on Miami Vice. He's a great character actor.
I think on IMDb his photo.
Yep.
I think it's from Jurassic.
The lawyer.
Yeah, he's the lawyer in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great character actor.
He's also in Heat.
Oh,
Oscar.
Yeah.
You remember Oscar?
Oscar, yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. That's Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah.
And then Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. This guy.
Oh, he's in that? Oh,
yeah, this guy. Although his credits end in 2015.
Oh, no.
I can't see. Anyway.
Maybe he just worked.
Perhaps. So I don't know. Where did we leave off? I mean, there's a whole scene where Ray goes to Harry Zim's office. Oh, first of all, oh my God. Harry Zim's character is so stupid.
Who's that?
Gene Hackman.
Oh yeah, man.
Right, he's the director. He's trying to buy the rights to Lovejoy. But he also owes money to a casino in Vegas, and the Chili Palmer is the one that was tasked to like get the money. But then he wants to be in the movies too, so he kind of befriends him.
Yeah.
But Harry Zim knows kind of the whole story now about why Chili's there, the dry cleaner that he's chasing for money as well. And then he calls Ray in Miami, like talking shit to him to get him. To get him to come to LA, I guess for the purpose of investing in the film.
Yeah, just dumb.
But then he also talks shit to him on the phone. And then Ray comes.
Look at me.
Look at. Excuse me. What did you say?
What did you say?
Look at me. How about you look at this? And he just knocks him out with the telephone, and then proceeds to kick his. I mean, so brutal, right? That's the dark part of the film.
Yeah.
Dennis Farina's character is not fucking around, dude.
Yeah, but he had a good time doing that scene, it seemed like, boy.
What was the other thing? Like, Gene Hackman offered to, like, do the scene once as himself instead of having a stunt double, and Dennis Farina was like, I don't want to actually, like, he said like, Gene Hackman's a big guy. I don't want to, like, hurt him by accident and have him get mad at me.
Yeah, because Gene Hackman whooped his ass.
Because I might have to shoot him. I don't want to have to shoot him. I told you, Dennis Farina, that's him in real life. He's never acted in his life. He's just showed up.
Yeah. So just need you to play you in this scene. Thanks.
Yeah, can you just show up here? People will say stuff to you.
Even on Law and Order, same shit, right?
Yeah, just react naturally.
Yeah, that dude.
So that whole scene.
Just dumb. He was dumb from the beginning too. Like even when the Delroy first came to the office, and Chili's like, "Look, don't say anything. You know, don't even talk about me. Just don't introduce me or anything." The minute he opens the door,
yeah, and you see on Chili's face, he's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And he I love this like the strong arming Chili does in that scene too. Is like, you've got a piece of his movie. Whatever the fuck we're doing is none of your fucking business. Like, it's just damn. All right, man.
He was a nice. He had a confidence, man. He has he had a confidence, and he was smarter than people like a lot of these dudes gave him credit for.
Yeah, like Ray is calling him stupid throughout the film.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you can think that all you want. I'm not going to correct you. And I like, I think I mentioned this before, but the scene in the limo with Bo and Escobar.
Oh, yeah.
So Escobar is the one that sent his son, his nephew, Yayo, to what? To sell the drugs. They were selling drugs, so he needs to collect the money, and Bo leaves it in the airport safe box or whatever, and Bo ends up killing Yayo because he's like,
he was an idiot.
Yeah, Yayo's also stupid. But that whole, I think their chemistry, Delroy Lindo and Miguel Sandoval in that scene was amazing.
Yeah,
and the writing and the dialogue was like, you know, I do a favor for my brother or my sister. I hire my nephew. He's not too bright. In my opinion, he's a R word. And then Delroy is like, you know, he's got two bodyguards on either side of him. Like, they're clearly threatening him. But he's very just like almost James Bondish. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, you know. And he's like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check out the town. Thought I'd check out Universal Studio, whatever. He's like, oh, yeah, that sounds nice. Like, stuff back and forth.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the film.
Yeah, he was, and I love how they cast and they made these two dudes who were sitting on either side of him like just massive, like
yeah.
Because
Delroy Lindo was a big guy, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy. So I'm just like, you know, this is serious, yo.
I wonder. Yeah, I
think he is. I mean, you
he's
never know Hollywood.
6'4".
Yeah, so these dudes had to be like 7 feet tall or something.
I mean, maybe they just had big, like, long torsos. I don't know.
Maybe they were sitting on phone books or something.
Yeah, they were a good half a foot tall and sitting down. So yeah, and then and so all this, like, you know, if we were recapping the film here, there's all this money flying around. Delroy Lindo's character Bo is supposed to pay the drug lord Escobar. Chili has the dry cleaners money, and of course they want to invest in the film Lovejoy, all this stuff. And then I think Bo decides, I want the dry cleaners money so I can pay back the drug lord.
Yeah,
and then he kidnaps Karen, and it comes like pretty much the final scene at Bo's place, which I really, again, I'm going back to John Travolta in this scene. John Travolta brings the dry cleaners money. He's like, here it is, throws it at him. He takes Karen. They're about to leave, and I don't know, Bo has a change of heart, and he pulls a gun on him. And you notice, like, when he pulls the gun and cocks it, Chili just goes, he has a sigh. He's like, oh, come on, man. It's like, Jesus. So that
That's
I
some
mean,
confidence for you right there, man.
yeah, I don't know if that was in the screenplay or in the book or if that was just like a creative choice, but it's brilliant.
Yeah. Just I mean, nicely done. Just
Mhm.
like, come on, man. Just want to go home.
And then we get that kind of kinship that Chili built with James Gandolfini's character Bear.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where like he goes to the airport to check on the money, the locker that the money's in, and he does this little trick with the FBI, and he like goes to the locker next to it just to see what they do, and then he gets
Yeah.
searched, and so he can't get the money, and then Bear is sent to see if everything went the way they wanted it to, and if it didn't, he's like, I'm gonna need that key back.
He's like, you're not getting upset.
Yeah, Chili's like, you guys can't be this fucking stupid. This is how you do things in LA. And then he like kicks his ass, but then he's like, "You okay? Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe." And like,
Just breathe.
and then just like lifts him up on the car, and like, he's like, "So you're a stuntman? How many films have you been in?" Right? He builds this rapport. Again,
It
really well
sounds
written.
very Brad Pittish. That scene.
It just feels like it wouldn't work with like a guy that like clearly he pegs Bear as like he's actually a good guy. He's just working, he's just
Right.
doing this because he has to.
Right.
It wouldn't work with like an actual gangster that's just there that loves killing people.
Right.
But he's so smart. He identifies this, and then he butters the guy up. But he's genuinely interested in the guy's career because he's a big film buff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm kind of getting off pace. So he's built this rapport with him, and at the end, last scene with Bo, he tricks him into, I don't know, getting rid of Chili.
Yeah.
By doing the same thing they did to Yayo, which is get him over the side of the balcony. But then he gets Bo caught in it, and Bo goes over, and then he saves Chili. And then pretty much end of story, right?
It's very Ocean's 11. That scene where Danny Ocean is being beat up by the dude inside the room for like an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a great scene. I mean, that was a great scene.
And then, but then there's more. It's not even the last scene. Then Chili gets back to his hotel room, and Ray is there, and then he tricks him into taking the airport key, the locker key at the airport, and then getting caught by the FBI. But then the transition there is awesome, right? They have the music that again I feel is so perfect for the film. And he's just like walking through the airport. You see the FBI people like, oh, this guy's coming. He's going to the locker. And then he opens the locker and they're like, freeze. Turns around. It's Harvey Keitel. And then you have Danny DeVito's character, Martin Weir, fucking up the gun. Like he's pressing the wrong button and the clip falls out.
Clip comes out.
And all of a sudden you're on the set. What an amazing transition.
Great, because we didn't need to know. I think that was just a perfect way to kind of wrap it up, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And gives us some closure on which film they end up doing. Which,
well,
of course,
we know that. Well, the thing is, like, there's no closure. Like, we know they are shooting that film, and I guess that's the last day. Could be they might shoot out of order. We all know they don't always go sequentially, but then they're like, "What do you want to get for lunch?" Right? Like everything's just like normal. But again, we don't know if they've shot Lovejoy already or that was pushed back. Like Gene Hackman said, we're going to have to push it back. Oh, no, that was another movie. That was a horror movie. But if it's been pushed back to film Get Shorty.
That's Hollywood for you right there, right? That to me is perfectly Hollywood.
Right. And I think, again, very intentionally done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just, obviously, call it what it is. It's not just a mob. It's a spoof on Hollywood and done quite expertly by a bunch of, Hollywood celebrities for very little money.
And quite frankly, could be a mob movie too, because not a bad way to launder some money. Just put it into Hollywood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet against that happening in the past or
I'm
currently.
sure it's happened. Absolutely. Not that we have any evidence.
No, we're just spitballing here. Do not come to my house in Miami. So I don't know about you, but like I couldn't really pick. I did love the limo scene. I did love the restaurant scene where Chili throws the Gandolfini down the stairs. I was just like, when I had to find a favorite part of the film, it was just like performances, like Travolta, DeVito, Lindo, Hackman. I just
Yeah,
really love their performances in this.
yeah.
And I'm struggling to find a least favorite part of this movie.
Uh, yeah, I don't really have a least favorite, and I thought there was, it was great to see all these people on screen together, um, and to be honest, Rene Russo is. I feel like she's always kind of been this actress that's been standing on the same corner as Meryl Streep, and so Meryl Streep keeps kicking her into the curb. She's a good actress, man. She's so talented, and she's never gotten, I think, her just due for a lot of the roles she's done. But she's a good actress.
I would need to. She's like not my favorite.
No, I wouldn't say
I
it.
mean, like I enjoy her in Lethal Weapon, right? She plays this like badass cop,
Yeah,
and then down the line, I can't remember, it was three or four, it was four, where she's pregnant with Riggs's baby, and then you get
yeah,
like that whole dealing with pregnancy thing, which is a whole set of emotion, whole shit ton of emotions, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
she did well there. So I would need, but I need more. I need to watch her in more because I couldn't even tell you any of other films that I've seen from her.
What? Well, yeah.
Known for Nightcrawler. Never seen. Oh,
She's an
Ransom.
outbreak.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Which is
Yeah,
good.
I've seen Outbreak. She's in Ransom. She's in the Thomas Crown Affair. Yeah, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's also
She's
in Big
done
Trouble, which is also John Travolta.
Thor Dark World,
Ah, yes. She plays the mother of
Endgame,
Thor. Well, all the
Nightcrawler.
MCU stuff. I've
So
never
she's
seen
done a bunch
Nightcrawler.
of stuff. I
Oh,
just
Major
think
League. Major
Major
League.
League. Yeah.
Major League. Oh, my goodness. In the
In the
Line of
Line of
Fire. I've never
Fire.
seen that.
That's a
Outbreak.
good movie.
Major League 2, Outbreak. Okay. Tin Cup. I've only seen that once. It's not a great movie, but I remember that.
I'd mentioned Free Jack, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I need to, well, I definitely need to rewatch Ransom. It's been a while.
yeah.
Give me back my.
They should redo that.
Ah.
Well, actually, they already did it, didn't they? Isn't that taken?
I hope. There you go. I mean, dude, if there's a question,
What's
if
that?
Mel Gibson wasn't taken, I mean, he's been in similar movies
Oh,
where he was
Mel
like the
Gibson
dude.
taken.
What's that movie where like, I really love this movie. Mel Gibson, he's betrayed during a heist and shot, and then the whole movie is him trying to get like the $17,000 that he was owed.
Oh, yeah,
is that
yeah,
is
yeah.
that payback? Oh, payback. It's payback.
Payback, where it's very specific.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's
and
not
they're like,
$18,000. It's $17,540.12.
and they're like, you don't want more? He's like, no, I just want what I fucking, yeah. I actually really like that movie. So that's
Yeah, that's a good.
kind of not really taken. Instead of finding his daughter, he's fine. It's like a combination of Ransom and Payback.
Yeah,
That is Mel Gibson and Taken.
Ranback. Pay something.
Paken. So any favorite quotes? Or what the fuck?
There was only one for me. There was really one what the fuck moment. I'm sure you probably have it down
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's girlfriend getting punched in the face by Ray Bones. I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Well, also even the lead up to that, before he
Yeah.
punches Leo's wife, he's just like, "Hello, have you spoken to Chili Palmer since your husband blew up?"
Just so messed up, man. Just so messed up.
Oh my god.
Quotes wise, probably the only one was you said one already. I was going to say, and that was the one about I forget. Anyway, the one I wanted was when Danny DeVito goes. oh, he's like, I'm so glad you rejected me from that film. He was like, you rejected me for playing pedophile clown in Birthday Boy. I'm like, what? Pedophile.
I'm sure there's plenty of terrible movies with roles like that.
And then he also played what was it, the crippled gay guy in Climb
Yeah.
Mount Whitney. I was like, what kind of movies are you doing, dude?
I liked again, this is Delroy Lindo and his delivery. This one he's asking about how they're gonna get Martin Weir and to do Lovejoy, and Chili's like, I'm gonna put a gun to his head and tell him to sign the contract, and Bo is like, I wonder, would that work? like really considering.
Try that.
This is such a great delivery. What about when they're at Martin's house, and Martin's asking where they all went wrong where it all went wrong with Karen and why they divorced, and she's like, "You did when you went to fuck Nikki at my birthday party." He's like, "Yeah, that was a good party."
Yeah, it was a good party. Yeah.
Like, oh my god, so bad.
Yeah. I mean, some good one-liners in this.
Yeah, one of them is like, we talked about Karen in the film saying like, I just want that one good line. I think Doris, Bette Midler's character, had the best line in this film.
Which was
when she goes to Harry's place and she like kisses him and she's like, "Aren't you gonna offer me whatever it is you taste like?" I thought that was a really good line.
That sounds like something from the like a 50s noir thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah. Even earlier, maybe like from Casablanca.
Yeah.
And then of course Danny Farina. They say the fucking smog is the fucking reason you have such fucking beautiful sunsets. Why? Why?
And it's so him, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was probably an ad lib. He was just like, "Why did this motherfucker tell me that shit?" Okay, so are you? I have some final questions.
All right.
A lot of them are based on some trivia that we found. This one is not, but we have a running question, and we've changed it several times. It started with Tom Hanks and moved to Will Smith and Michelle Yeoh. I would like to ask a question about another amazing actor. Could John Leguizamo be in this film, and in what role? And would he make it?
John Leguizamo, that's out of left field. Okay.
Well, we've done white, black, Asian woman, and I thought Latino, Hispanic was missing, and we should definitely address that. And John Leguizamo is, as many of these people in this cast are,
well, I mean, there's one role that he could play instantly, but I wouldn't want to see him in it because he wouldn't be in the movie that long, and that's Yayo. With that being said, I think probably, let me just look at my character list. What's his name? I think he could have played Delroy Lindo's partner. What's his name?
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Ronnie, who gets shot in the foot later on.
Yeah, everyone who...
I mean, I think John Leguizamo could do a few roles in this film. I mean...
He could play Delroy Lindo's role.
I mean, the obvious one is Escobar. Like an older John Leguizamo. I think he could play Chili.
Do you think he could play Chili Palmer?
He's been in dramatic roles. He's been in comedic roles. He's been in like tough guy role. Even like in John Wick, that small part he has there, tough guy kind of. I think he could absolutely play this, and he's got the charm to pull it.
I don't know. I gotta see him go. Look at me. Hey.
I think he can absolutely do that. I think he has no problem whatsoever doing that.
Look at me. Hey. Put the fork down. Look at me.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna use that for like another month.
Oh God, don't use it with me. So you're saying no to Chili, but Delroy Lindo or Bo Ronnie in that wheelhouse?
I won't say no to Chili. I'll say I would like to see it.
Could he be Dennis Farina's character?
Yeah, I could see him do that. I could see him do that. Yeah, I could see him do that.
So we also mentioned Danny DeVito was considered for Chili Palmer, but also Michael Keaton, Bruce Willis, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Dustin Hoffman. Any of those strike your?
Well, I think Willis probably the first person. If for some reason Travolta backs out, he would be my first person I'd call up.
I feel like the test there is what the look at me thing, and quite frankly,
Yeah.
thinking about Robert De Niro, go look at me.
Hey,
He's doing it for me right now.
look at me. Yeah, yeah. De Niro definitely could have done it easily.
I think he's too dark. He can be funny, like Meet the Parents, but like I don't. I think him and Al Pacino are just too dark.
I don't know. He played. What was that movie? He plays the bounty hunter.
Who? De Niro?
Yeah, De Niro plays the bounty hunter with. What was the name of that movie? I can't remember. It's kind of like this, where he's kind of like this heavy dude, but there are like some comedic pieces to it. I don't know.
The thing is, like, it's like when he's in a comedy, he plays the straight guy, right? He's the one that is funny because he's not trying to be funny. Whereas, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Travolta does that here, but he's very smiley as well. Robert De Niro's not a smiley guy. Dustin Hoffman is the opposite.
I mean,
He could be smiley, but he's just definitely not. He doesn't bring the toughness.
Michael
Michael Keaton.
Midnight Run.
I don't think I've seen that.
You got to see that. You'll like it.
I feel like Michael Keaton is close. I think your first reaction, Bruce Willis, is probably the best.
Yeah,
but it's still different.
Michael Keaton could probably do it.
I really like John Travolta's performance, so it's gonna be hard to pull me away.
Yeah, I mean, this is like outside of Pulp Fiction and Face Off. To me, this would be his like a staple film for him for sure.
Okay, so what about this? Samuel L. Jackson was the first choice for the role of
Samuel Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, everybody knows Samuel Jackson's like tomato. You put it on, when you put it on a salad, it just makes it better. I mean, come on, man. You could put Samuel Jackson.
You used the wrong analogy, bro. Don't use salad for me. Don't use vegetables for me.
Oh, I forgot. You don't eat vegetables. Never mind.
Hey, I've lasted this long.
Yeah, he's. You put him in anything, and it instantly makes it better. So.
We've talked about this before. Yes, I can see it.
Yep.
But this is probably another situation where his energy, personality, celebrity probably takes away from everyone else in the cast.
I'm all right.
But again, I can see that scene almost playing out exactly the same with Escobar and Bo in the limo. I feel like he would deliver very similar things to Delroy Lindo.
Well, the problem with him being it is if Travolta is playing Chili and he's playing Bo, it then becomes a little harder for me to believe that he can intimidate Bo. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or be on the same level. Because
he's a good actor.
I'm not saying acting. I'm not saying acting wise. I'm talking about like these characters being like equal energy. You know what I mean? I think Samuel just brings like this a certain different kind of energy to the screen that
Also, though, if you look at Pulp Fiction, right? In Pulp Fiction, Travolta's character was pretty, like, he was still a tough guy, but he was not as smart as Chili Palmer, right? He was kind of like this henchman kind of thing,
right?
And so the way he performs this role, I think, could match up to a Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Well, then the question becomes, in Pulp Fiction, can Samuel Jackson replace Ving Rhames?
No, because he's already in the movie. No, I don't think he wants to replace Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames gets not treated well in that film.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's also a piece of trivia saying MGM executive's first choice to direct this film was Quentin Tarantino. Who also directed another film based on an Elmore Leonard book, Jackie Brown.
Oh yeah, Jackie Brown. Yeah. No, he can't direct this.
Oh yeah, it'll be what was this one rated? R. This is only R rated.
Yeah, maybe.
Can't remember. This will be rated like triple R.
Yeah, this would
all the N words and motherfuckers.
Yeah, he would throw all the N words he could possibly fit into a script, probably all in the first 5 minutes.
But then again, it would be like more like Pulp Fiction too, I guess, if he directed.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
right.
this was too light of a movie for him.
Yeah. I concur. Okay, I'm gonna throw I don't know if you've had time to prepare, but one of our recent questions is: are there any other songs you had a hard time with the soundtrack? But are there any other songs you think could be in this track?
Left field, man.
I've asked this question before.
Not recently. I don't know. I'm trying to think of okay, so this is the 90s, and so who was big in the 90s? I mean, Police.
Also just think about the style, right? It's like we talked about it. There's a lot of funk, jazz, blues, but like playful music. So I had a couple songs that thought fit.
What was dude that did the theme song for Beverly Hills Cop? Was that Faltermeyer? I would think something by him might be interesting, but it might be too poppy, but there were like certain scenes where they played like stuff like that. So I mean, you could get some Faltermeyer or wow, that's a hard question, dude. I don't know.
So one of the songs, I had a couple songs. One is from another Danny DeVito film, Twins. The song is called Turtle Shoes by Bobby McFerrin. Oh, can't even sing. I just feel like that's a very playful, bouncy song that could fit for like a walking scene or something. But also the Meters, Sissy. I don't know if you know that one.
No,
I'm not going to attempt to hum it, but it's a up tempo, funky, also kind of playful song. I thought that would fit really well in this. You could just plug it into any of the Booker T and the MGs.
What about Tina Turner? She would have been something by her would have been kind of or
I don't know if I consider her music playful. That's the only thing.
Or maybe you know who would have been really what band would have been good? Huey Lewis and the News.
In which scene would you put that in though?
I don't know. Maybe the end scene, maybe, or I don't know. Or some. I mean, jazz. I don't know. Like
or even jazz? Like dude, even like Cantaloupe. Biddy biddy bop, funky. Like that fits in too, because that almost sounds like the theme song from the opening credits. Anyway, I think there's some options, but in any case, I don't even have an answer for this. But do you have a favorite song, or is the song you felt encompassed the?
Quite frankly, I don't think I do.
Do you need lyrics to answer that question?
Yeah, because otherwise I'm doing a score, right? I mean, there were a couple of songs I thought were interesting. And trying to see, what did I write down here?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs from Booker T and the MG.
I don't know enough about. I remember Booker T and the MGs. I don't remember listening to them very much.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the ones I heard.
The Tony Rich Project was in there.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, that was in there.
There was some stuff that was in there that was probably during the restaurant scene or like just in the background that I just didn't hear. It was more the transition stuff, like going from one scene to the other, or like walking walking to the airport or stuff like that. That I took notice of.
I guess you could say Chili Hot is probably would kind of be.
Oh, that's the only answer I can think of. I didn't even have an answer for that. It's just because it is kind of the theme from the opening credits.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked both. Two, well, not both, but two, like "Can't Be Still" and "All Mercy" from Booker T.
Right.
But I wrote down yesterday "Howlin' Wolf," which is towards the end by Guy Daniels. I really like that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be my favorite.
Okay. Well, I mean,
You're just not prepared, man. That's all it
yeah,
is.
I don't have a favorite one. I don't have a favorite one. So
All right. Well, that only
but
leaves
what?
that only leaves what you rate the.
Well, it's been a while since I rated a film. Um, I'm. This is a hard film to rate. Like, it's not a terrible film at all. Like, is it the best film ever made? No, but it's also a rare film because you don't get to see this many um, quality filmmakers. I mean, actors on one film like this. Not without you know it being a $300 million film, and
Mm-hmm.
So and this is kind of like a film you can kind of just watch whenever. Like this, I don't think you.
Is this a day?
Is it a day killer?
I feel like for me, if it's on, I could just sit there and forget about what I was going to do for the rest of the day and just watch it.
It's close. It has all the qualities to it. It does have all the qualities to it. It's not too stressful. It's got a little action. It's got a little comedy. It's got a little drama. I don't know for me if it's a rewatchable, but I could see if someone told me they thought it was a rewatchable, I would not be. I wouldn't be against it. So I'll give this movie a 7.5.
I'm giving it a hard 8.
Oh,
Yeah, we're in the same area again. I prefer, I was at like a 9.5, and you were, as usual, wrong. But no,
whatever.
8. Yeah, hard 8, man. Like, listen, again, this is a day killer for me. I think I love a lot of the performances. I love the music, the writing, the dialogue, the pretty much everything. Actually, that's one thing I didn't really notice a lot of, pay attention to was like the cinematography. I feel like it was good,
Yeah, I didn't
but
really.
now I actually didn't take notice. The editing I think is great, especially in the beginning when they're jumping from city
Yeah,
to city and like giving us really quick snippets of the story and setting everything up. So I
yeah,
think it's a very well made movie. I think it's very well made. Yeah, to your point, not the best movie ever made, but absolutely entertaining. So
yeah,
given
yeah.
that, I think 8's a nice little nesting place.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's fair.
What
What do
do
you have?
what do you have coming up?
Not a lot. I mean, outside of my weekly Zoom I do for creators on Wednesdays, it's a bunch of stuff. Just kind of influx, just trying to get things, make things happen. How about yourself? When you're performing soon, right?
Yeah, man, it's kind of sneaking up now. August 15th,
Yeah,
which
it's gonna be
is
before you know it.
it's 3 weeks away, right? August 15th. Yeah, August 15th at Arlene's Grocery. I'm going on at 7. I'm performing. I'm there because there's another band with an album drop. So there'll be 3 bands. Well, 2 bands after me, and then the band that's with the having the release. So it should be a really fun night. Some good
Right.
artists out there, and I'm gonna be playing solo. So stepping away from the reggae for a little bit. I mean, I might throw one reggae song in
Nice. And in the summer, like you in the summer on a solo note.
there. Yeah. Well, I told you earlier, another one of my drummers is jumping ship, moving to North Carolina. So,
So you're
anybody
looking for
looking,
drummers, right?
yeah, looking for
Yeah.
drummers. Any drummers out there in New York City, uh, hit me up. Chris Saunders _music. Wow. And
Yeah.
if you want to reach out to myself, you can hit me there, or reach out to Daron at the Daron Jenkins. For whatever you need, checking out his Creators Lounge on every week, or in one of his live events, networking events, or just getting in touch with us for a movie you want to hear us talk about. If you want to be a guest and talk about a certain movie, just let us, just reach out, hit us up. You can also reach us at the Tracklist podcast on Instagram as well,
Podcast. Yes.
and we will respond.
Yes, sir. That's what we do. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of new shows for you coming coming soon. If you know anybody, you want to suggest a guest or two for us as well, you can, like I said, on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, although we're everywhere else, if you're listening on Spotify, you can now comment directly on the podcast episode. So feel free to reach out to us with suggestions for movies or even podcasts to listen to. Because I'm always looking for listening for like a new episode of something that might be interesting and inspire us towards more content. So let us know, and of course, like and follow us on the Tracklist podcast on Instagram, and remember, we're the number 3 soundtrack podcast right now. Thanks to the Feed Spot. Thanks to Feed Spot for all you do for us, and I guess that's it. Unless you have anything else, Chris.
No, sir.
All right. Well, in that case, I am Daron Jenkins.
I'm Chris Saunders.
And this was the Tracklist. Talk to you guys soon. Stay safe.